Good afternoon. I, Himanvita Mazumdar, Assistant Editor at Business Review Live, welcome all the viewers at the latest episode of our Leaders Speak. We have a special guest joining us today, Dr. Raina Khatri Tandon. She is an international speaker, mentor, and educator, a breakthrough transformation coach, a dynamic trainer, a change strategist, an author, and an enterprising entrepreneur. She is also a certified corporate trainer from IATD Mumbai chapter and is a competent career coach. As a trainer, Dr. Tandon has more than 20 years of experience and touched lives of around 18,000 fantastic people and helped them improve their lives by resolving their issues, inducing change, developing a strong self belief, and utilizing their inner potential. Dr. Tandon is the founder of Right2Rise, India's first and only ISO 21001 17024 accredited certified POSH organization private limited company and a registered trademarked copyrighted a part of ITF Global Private Limited. Through her role as a certified POSH compliance expert, Dr. Tandon is an external member of many companies across India. She has been a speaker at various global conferences to advocate women leadership and gender equality and a two-time TEDx speaker at Gateway. She is a multiple award-winning entrepreneur and was bestowed with the Noble Asian Award 2018, the Global Dignitary Award 2018, and a PhD Chakra Award 2018, among various others. She has received her BE in Electronics and Communication Engineering from SRM University, Mumbai, and her MS in Computer Hardware Engineering from University of Westminster, London, a PhD from Brazil University, certified human rights professional from EDX Harvard chapter, and is currently pursuing advocacy from Maharashtra Law University. Welcome, Dr. Tandon.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Alvin. Thank you so much, Business Review and its
it's
viewers.
a
Thank you.
pleasure. It's a pleasure, ma'am. So moving on to our questions. Uh, Getting a master's in engineering from University of Westminster, United Kingdom, to becoming the founder and the chief mentor at Right2Rise, could you please share your experience with us?
Okay, wonderfully. Thank you very much. Very brilliantly placed question. I think a journey is one that doesn't start with one day. It's something that has been created over a period of time. And today it's more like achieving a dream because it's not about one dream, it is about accomplishing your life. It's about who I have become in this process. Okay. It's not about what the destination is, but it's about how I have traversed from an IT professional to completely a different prosperous leader. Uh, Very interestingly, if you look at my journey, I started my journey as an IT professional. I started my journey with engineering, went ahead and did my master's, and also did my thesis and research at Edinburgh. And finally, I have now started a company working in the areas of POSH and creating enablers through Right2Rise. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the story. So, little did I know that I'm going to be doing this and transforming myself from designing chips and IC circuits and leaving my 9 to 5 job into becoming somebody who's a leader, a guide, a mentor, an international speaker, and much more today. I wear many hats, but honing those hats, it's important to understand that how beautifully a person skills himself to balancing all these roles. Today we have so many roles, and in pandemic we know how difficult it is, Imanvita, that even managing a personal and professional life, it becomes so very difficult, and everybody is so stressed. But if I have prosperously converted myself from an engineer to becoming a doctor and also working in the areas of advocacy, it's only because of two things. One, a person is defined by the discipline he carries every day. Okay, leadership is not very difficult, but it's about two things. how does your daily routine look like, and how are you disciplining yourself to carry that out, your daily agenda to the T, and the dedication towards it. Yes, my journey started with being a student, just like you. I was also finishing my 10th, and my mom and dad asked me, "What do you want to do?" And I said, I'll want to do computer engineering. And then the first breakthrough happened where, in South, because I'm born and brought up in South. Interestingly, I'm a North Indian, born and brought up in South part of India. Okay, so I have both the flavors. So my father asked me, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to do engineering because everybody in the family is from business, so I want to create that amazing breakthrough of doing 9 to 5 organizational work." And like any person wanting to dream, I thought it's a very nice thing, I'm just going to jump into something very exciting. And little did I know that this is a journey that's never going to end, because I'm going to be doing hard work till date. Okay. And I wanted to become a computer engineer, but the first thing that I made in advance was when I had to make a choice between um, so in South, we go through these IIT and IIMs and Anna University entrance exams. So according to the entrance result, I was getting a better placed seat in electronic and communication engineering at SRM's college, but rather than picking up a computer science based on some payment seat. So the aspect that my father was wanting to say is that something that you're getting on your credibility, pick that up. And even though I wanted to do computers, I ended up accepting, saying, okay, let's do electronic and communication, because uh, sometimes being the eldermost daughter in the family, you want to give the freedom to your parents to say, okay, I'm there with you, let's move on. Maybe you sacrifice for your dreams. But I'm very happy today that I sacrificed that one thing, because an electronic and communication engineer is a much more creative role rather than becoming just a computer engineer, because that enabled me to choose my next step, which was going far across from Chennai city, where I've never moved out, into a space all across borders at London, where I did not have any relatives. Yes, I applied. I got the university space. I went there and I started my journey. But it's very difficult for a girl who's just not got out of her house, never probably sat in a plane or in a train to go across even cities, to travel all the way, taking two flights between Dubai and then going to UK and then settling there for a 2 years degree. But it was really pleasant because that was the first time that a breakthrough happened in my life. And yes, I completed my degree. The next level was to do some kind of research. In between, I did counseling certifications from UK, not knowing that those things are going to be applicable in my life some point of a life. But sometimes you do certain things in the flow of people, friends, and in the community spirit. And after finishing that, I did my master's, I came back, got married. This question always used to linger me that, I worked, I studied, I'm known in many different areas of my VLSI chip design engineering. But somewhere that little thing hiding inside, that I wanted to do something for people. I'm not meant to be just a 9 to 5 person integrating circuits, very intellectual work, very interesting work, because that is something I used to like. But something was lingering inside that I want to do something more. And in the verge of which I got married, I came to Mumbai, the city I never wanted to come, by the way. But you say, the more you run away from a place, you land up there. So my story is something around the same. I landed up in Mumbai, and fortunately, within a year or two, I traveled with my husband abroad, where I was 8 years in Finland, which was a Scandinavian country. I did a lot of work there in terms of supporting, being a part of Red Cross societies, ISKCON temple societies, a lot of philanthropic work, a lot of work into business development and event management, because I loved meeting people. I loved becoming a source of happiness and doing something creative and creating these little because Finland is a place of minus 40 degrees, minus 30 degrees. So they have a lot of creative stuff, where you can make this gingerbread and ginger cake and all that. So I used to be a very good baking person there. At the same time, I was to be a very good compare and a moderator and a very good event host person kind of a thing. So I got into a company where I explored those skills and I met new people. I loved those things, but I never knew that I had a hidden super speaker in me. Okay. I never knew I'm somebody who's there to hit the stage with 10,000 people standing in front of me and they can hear me. So all those little things started developing because I believe that a person is generally created or formulated by the people he meets, experiences he has, the kind of attitudes he carries towards different cultures. He learns cross cultural sensitivity and he understands the empathy that he carries with people who grow with him. Slowly came back to India, started to understand what I should be doing, and spent a little time, about close to 1.5, 2 years, trying to understand, where I came across becoming a trainer. Maybe next was the breakthrough coaching. I did a lot of international programs. I equipped myself with knowledge, expertise, a lot of certifications, and I came to this work of POSH. That's where we are. I did my first training with Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act, and there was a gentleman who came up from the organization and said, "Ma'am, I would like to speak to you." And he sat down near me and he explained everything that he had undergone as abuse from a lady who's his manager. And it was very shocking that a lady was overpowering a man and abusing him based on some kind of power play and politics that she was wanting to play. The second time I did it in a college where there was a boy, and I was speaking to this crowd of youth, of 300 youth and teens at Thakur Engineering College. I still remember, at Mumbai. And one of this boy comes up and says that he has not discussed something with his parents, with his principal, with his HOD, with his women development cell, and his teacher, but he wanted to speak to me. And he opened out a situation that he is undergoing with a peer colleague, a peer study person who is there in his own class since the last 4 to 6 months as he's traveling in the bus. And very sad to say that after 2, 3 occasions like this where people had been coming up, I soon realized this is not just training. This is about enabling lives. This is about transforming people. This is about bringing out the true leadership that we say that, a leader is one who leads the way and shows the way. And that is going to allow the people to come out of their shells and understand who they are, hear their words, but feel the attitude that people have so that they can become more inspirational in that process. But what kind of transformation are we looking at? And that is why I started creating Right2Rise. Right2Rise is India's first company. I got certified, we got trademarked and copyrighted. We are accredited 17024 and 21001 solution provider, a private limited company, providing certifications, compliance audit, and various other things which are towards organizational, institutional, and NGO development. What it means is that we believe in values that are building us and the society. So whatever we do help society and provide great deal of value, and that is what our belief systems say. That's with integrity, respect, and dignity and justice.
Wow, that's very inspiring. You sort of answered my second question also in answering your first question. So when we talk about Right to Rise, it is the first and only ISO 21001 and 1724 credited POSH organization. So could you shed some light on POSH? What exactly it is?
Okay, so when we are saying that uh, we are India's first and only, POSH is basically Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act for Women at Workplace, Prevention, Prohibition, Redressal Act 2013. When we are talking about this act, It is important to understand that this is an act created by our constitution, by our jurisdiction. India has already this act since 2013. Okay, and this was a very important act which took care of curbing any kind of abuse, harassment, assault, pornography, any other unwanted, unwelcome request, demand, favors towards women. Okay, and it is catering to only protecting women at workplace. So it's not like catering to any kind of public place. So when we are talking about this act is already created by government. Now, what different that we do is we are providing solutions to provide healthy, safe, ethical workspaces. So act is created. People know about this act, and if they don't know, also they can come to know because it's all available online. But what they don't know is how to implement it. Act बना हुआ है, act आपके पास है, act is with you, but still people don't follow. It's like telling you, please wear the helmet. How many people wear it? They tell you, please wear the, when you're sitting in the airplane, they tell you, please wear the seat belt. They tell you when you're sitting in the car, wear the seatbelt before you drive. They tell you, don't do this, don't spit out. These are basically rules and regulations set. A law is a much more stricter version. So the POSH law and the POSH Act was talking about three things: right to life, right to integrity and dignity of every woman, right to allow her to live her life the way she wants, and allow her to work in any workplace free from abuse, harassment, any kind of unwanted, unwelcome requests, maybe some kind of harassment in terms of uh, color, creed, race, religion, any kind of areas which are catering or abusing her. We should stop, and we should provide her a more dignified environment to work. What we have done is we've created ethical, certifications, awareness programs, different kind of catering signature products, where we are looking at different sectors, we are looking at different audience, and we are telling them how they can create a better space. So we are creating a more ethical and a clearer solution that they can apply, which helps them to grow. That is all Right to Rise does. And in doing that, since we are a more trademarked and copyrighted, everything that we do are according to ISO standards, because that is a quality assurance standard. And yeah, we are a part of ITF Global Private Limited, which is a very big association. And we are looking at catering to any kind of organizational, institutional, and NGO level. That's what Right to Rise does, and their products do. There is a vertical called RKT Foundation, which is more on the social initiatives, and that helps people in case they don't have any kind of sustainability in terms of getting a lawyer, getting out of abuse, child abuse, women rights, anything that they are struggling with and they cannot do it on their own or they cannot afford it, then RKT Foundation is socially ready to help them and cater to them. So that is what Right to Rise does, and their ethics and values, justice, belief systems are very strongly working towards creating equality for all genders. So we are more a diverse and inclusive environment trying to help organizations also create that.
Okay. So, how is the program benefiting the organizations in terms of safer environment and better productivity? Please take us through the vision and mission of Right to Rise.
Yeah. So Right to Rise is an organization that is looking at how we can grow in such a way that, see, so sometimes you are a small organization, sometimes you're a big organization, and every organization don't have a clarity of how they want to drive it over a period of 5 years. Okay, they only look at a very top-down approach at a very narrow level. At Right to Rise, what we believe is that we are helping them grow over a longer range, is dividing or devising or putting their products into buckets, telling them that tomorrow, if there is a situation that is going to occur, then how do you deal with it? Now, what is our core belief? Our core belief is that every individual has the right to rise. So there is nobody in the world who says that, I'm going to be stuck in this place, I'm not going to grow. We are 100% sure that we can help you to grow, and every person has the right to rise and reach its maximum potential so that we can collectively grow towards a healthy, safe, and conducive workplace. And maximum outcomes are then uh, resulted. So we can always produce those results. Now, what is our vision and mission? Since we are an ISO compliant organization, we generally look at women and children rights. Our vision is to create an ecosystem aiding individuals, organizations to reach their greatest potential, maintaining our core values, which is safety, respect, trust, values, and justice. That is our vision. A long term vision looking at an ecosystem, looking at a society which is much more beautiful. And our mission, designing, developing, and delivering an educative society based on human rights, child rights, awareness programs to lead an inclusive, gender inclusive workplace. Again, designing, developing, and delivering mental resilience and gender bias free attitudes. That we have a today we have a patriarchal society. We are not looking at breaking those judgments or bias, but we are looking at creating a mentally resilient, calm atmosphere at work, so that these gender biases, these kind of non-judgmental approaches can be curbed. And the third mission is to discover and establish organizations to work collectively, collaboratively, institutionalize all our core values so that their relationships become more stronger and their process and practices become very efficient. So that is our mission that we are looking at covering over a period of more than 10 to 20 years from now. And yes, there are various products that will help various markets that we are looking to cater. We are hoping to help all areas, including the foundation level of people working in villages or people working in small towns, because I believe that most of the people who are our foundation elements lie there. People working with the top class or the educated society, they are already educated, they're already empowered. All they need to do is mindset change. But the people who are needing help, it's the people who are there at our foundation. We need to rise them, we need to help them, we need to support them so that they are empowered. That is true empowerment. It's not like going and talking in the best of educated societies and say, I look at empowering. That's not going to help our India change. That's why we say we should be Atmanirbhar India, because we are looking at the essence of India, the elixir of our life that is lying in our villages, in our small towns. That's where we need to do a lot of work.
Okay. So, without providing any classified information, could you please share a case study where the program has been implemented successfully? And what can the other organizations learn from it in order to offer a safer workplace?
Okay, so there have been many instances where we've got great results. In fact, as of today itself, if you go onto the LinkedIn and the Facebook, there has been the VP of Catala who has given my testimonial saying that he was there at one of our POSH awareness programs, which I had done at a very renowned university. And you know, I always believe that there's one thing that people don't understand is that the more awareness you go and give, the more people get to know. Now, how that awareness goes and does is that if you are educating few people, those educated people should be going and doing the same work out there. If they are not able to reproduce what you are saying, then there is no point in it. Secondly, the generation like you, a very, very young, youthful, powerful generation. You should all be ready to go and enable those people. So there should be some kind of an ecosystem that is created like a community, and this community should be able to help sustain organizations in any form of curbing all these criminal offenses that are occurring. Because, um, see, criminals are not born, they are made, and they are made by people, situations, environment, and cultures. It is because of how we deal, how we react and not respond, how we deal with situations, how we are assessing people, what are the kind of mindsets we carry, what are the prejudgments or misjudgments or some kind of biases that we are carrying towards one to one person, that we react with that person in such a way. Because of that, we have these differences that come in. Because of that, we have this inequality that comes in. And because of that, we are not giving positions, or we are not giving equal pay, or we're not giving leadership post, or we're not giving those kind of equality that men and women deserve. We should be working at that level where, people like you should come and say, yes, I am ready to volunteer, I'm ready. We have a group of interns at the internship academy. We tell them that, you are equipped by us to become gender sensitive, to be empathetic, to be resilient. Now you go and spread that. When you join organizations, wherever, whether you join a law firm, whether you join a professional setup, you should be a volunteer there and say, yes, I'm ready to become a gender equality specialist. I'm ready to become a diversity and inclusion specialist. I'm ready to drive the equality and gender justice in our organization, so that, if anybody is uncomfortable, I am there to provide the support to say, this person was somewhere wrong, and we need to solve this amicably. That should be, or provide support to a lady who's undergoing abuse or body shaming or some kind of a sexually colored remark. Even if we have LGBTQs working with us, culture doesn't tell us that we need to behave badly to them. It is only our lifestyle and our ethics. Hinduism, Sikhism, Muslimism, all of these don't teach you what and how to behave. It is you who have to learn how to behave. Okay, you're human. So this human culture should be imbibed so much strongly that there should not be any sign of inequality that exists. So community help, supporting ecosystems, finding out these small nuances where they are finding it difficult or where are the loopholes. There will be loopholes even in the law where, we don't know which organization is compliant. Some people who are small scale owners, MSMEs, SMEs, they don't know how we can work around with them. But if
Mhm.
you know, you should be going and telling them, look, I have learned this. I think even we should follow the act and we should do ethical work, you know. So that is something that we can do, and organizations will surely reach their maximum potential. Their growth will be awesome when they know that these could be little solutions implemented in their workspace. And I'm sure there'll be less amount of cases, because as of now we have loads of cases even happening online, because a lot of people who are getting trained by other experts don't provide the right information, and somewhere people are just probably working like monotonously training just because that's their work. But if we see it as a real deep meaning towards life, that we are going to change the society as true empowerers, as true enablers, as true Iron Man and Iron Ladies, then we see the culture changing, we see India changing, and I'm sure all of us love India to be a changed country soon.
Right. Okay. So, what is your mode of operation in terms of educating the organization and training the individual?
Okay, so we have various modes. We used to have an offline mode also, and we have been online and towards blended learning. So there are various approaches that our organization takes. I think Right to Rise has programs that are happening offline for people who are in manufacturing, oil, natural gas, power, because sometimes the worker level and the labor level need a one-to-one support. They're all not very technology driven, and they are not very comfortable with being online. So there are offline programs, there are online programs that we are also catering to, where people like you and me and a lot of individuals who are culture driven and technology prone, we come in and we get certified so that we know we will be speaking the right aspect of the law, and we will be talking about the right sections, the right aspects which are guided by the Constitution of India. Those things should be highlighted so that people know that what is the right way to implement it. And we have a blended approach where we have both together. We also have LMS systems and for catering to India and abroad. So there are countries where organizations are placed abroad. So foundations, organizations, cultures, everybody is being taken care of. So otherwise, yes, these are the different ways we cater to our audience.
So, my next question, the POSH is very much relevant at the current moment. So, what are the steps that you are taking to reach out to the organizations and the individuals?
So today, with POSH being so much spoken of, okay, there are various schools. there are various institutes, there are various colleges, and there are various universities. Okay. The first audience that I'm talking about is everybody who's between 0 to 18 years. Yes, 0 to 18 come under POXO, but the people who are catering to them are the schools, professors, university, HODs, Bayas, Didis who are catering to. Even they need to be knowing about POSH. So, yes, we are looking at working with them. We have been doing a lot of sessions with them. There are people who are trained under us. They are also going and catering to that audience in terms of awareness, in terms of certifications, in terms of compliance for them, which will tell them how to maintain safety. The other associates are at NGO levels, where NGOs are the most sustainable. They are helping other people to set up systems. And they are also helping these people who are not able to, they don't know where to go. So they come to your community health centers or CWC centers or senior citizen health centers and a lot of NGO and trusts who are catering to the vulnerable people. Now, most importantly, when we are what Right to Rise is doing is when we are catering to NGOs, we don't charge anything. We help them completely through our RKT Foundation aspects, where we are ready to help NGOs to grow. But if it's a profitable NGO, then of course it becomes a different story. But if it's a non-for-profit or NPO, then probably we can look at helping them and catering them completely pro bono, because that is our key giveaway to the society, that if there's somebody who's undergoing a child abuse or a child assault or a pornography or a woman abuse assault to workplace, then we can support them as an ecosystem to provide them the right person as a legal expert or a counselor or a psychologist or any other form of benefit and support. And for organizations, firms, SMEs, MSMEs, government sectors, we are reaching them out by the programs that we do. Each of them have each to own requirements, so the need-based analysis can be done and their catering requirements can be met.
Okay, thank you. And to the organizations and individuals who are listening to you right now, what would be your message to them?
So I remember this quote of Malala Yousafzai, which says, "One pen, one book, and one word can create life." I can just say that one lady has started the proposition of changing the world. We are looking at a more beautiful, equal, that's equal. So that equal means for all genders, not only for men and women, whether it's a she slash her slash him slash us. Okay, any gender you are, we are with you. Right to Rise always believes in an inclusive workspace, and we're looking at many mind shifts, many perspective shifts, and a more beautiful, safe, compliant, and a healthy workspace is what we are looking at. So let's join in hands together and wave this flag of equality, justice, and beautiful world, so that we can grow together as economic and sustainable workspaces. Let's rise together, because I believe that everybody has the right to rise.
Sure, many of us will do that. At least I will do that.
Thank you.
And my last question to you, what's the best way someone can reach to you?
Okay, so the best way people can reach out to me is we are there on all social media handles and we have our own website. You can look up to www.right2rise.in. It's RIGHT number 2 RISE.in. That's our website. The RKT Foundation website is starting to link in through the pages. But otherwise, we are there on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and on all social media. You can find us with Raina, Khatri, Tandon, and Right to Rise, both the channels. I'm sure you will be able to look out for us. Otherwise, our email addresses are rkt@right2rise.in. I repeat, rkt@right2rise.in. And our contact numbers are there on our social media pages. Thank you so much. I'm sure you can reach out to us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Tandon, for sparing your time with us. It's utmost pleasure. We hope our Business Review Live listeners would love to welcome you back to this platform soon because, of course, this is an unfolding story. So, thank you so much,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much. Thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure to be on Business Review, and thank you, viewers, for listening to me A great thank you to the team of Business Review, Mr. Olvin Matthew and Himanuitam Mazumdar. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of our session. Thank you, everyone.